Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So, as expected, we got a brand new Here We Go article today, but unlike what I was kind of hoping we might see, which was the Beastsnaggers War Boss, we instead got teased with yet another brand new model for the upcoming Orcs release, and that is a model from a group of Orcs which are known as Wereboys. And as you can see, the character they've shown off is a very almost semi-mechanical, zany looking fellow, and these guys are essentially brand new Orc Psykers. He still has that very up-muscled Beastsnaggers aesthetic, and honestly I do think that he looks fantastic. I really love the slightly more in proportion and quote-unquote realistic look of these new Orc models, but also he still has that absolutely crazy, over-the-top and hilarious Orc look about him too, with the wiring that appears to be coming from a cylinder which is embedded in his side and the mechanical leg. It is all very, very cool and very, very orky. On the rules front, these Wereboys appear to be slightly different to regular Orc Weirdboys, and the article states that they channel very different powers to the ones that we're used to. And so with that in mind, I think it's pretty clear that the Beastsnaggers are going to have their own unique psychic discipline to play around with, which, in addition to a hopefully revamped version of the current Orc powers that we know and love, is a really exciting little tidbit of news for the fans of the Beastsnaggers and the Orc Codex in general. Hopefully it will add a lot more variety and choice when it comes to building your Orc army, and maybe your enemy just automatically knowing that your Orc Psyker will have the jump 99% of the time will become a thing of the past. And they do show off one of these new powers, which is the hilariously named Squiggly Curse, and essentially causes the enemy unit to transform into a random herd of squigs, which is incredibly orky if you ask me. With a warp charge of 7, it isn't the easiest power to get off, but when you do, it lets you choose an enemy unit within 12 inches of the Psyker, and you roll a d6 for every model in the unit, up to a maximum of 6, and on a 4+, they suffer a mortal wound. And then, if any models in the unit are killed as a result of those mortal wounds, enemy units within 6 inches of that unit also suffer a mortal wound. I mean, it's fine. I love the fluff and the imagery of it, but it doesn't exactly blow me away with being a super powerful spell. I imagine this will be the discipline's smite equivalent, which most psychic disciplines have, and the other powers will be the more unique, fun ones. And so from that perspective, I don't mind it. It does have a painfully short range, and only rolling up to 6 dice is admittedly a bit of a bummer, but still, it's potentially an average of 3 mortal wounds, which should at least kill 1 model in an enemy unit, so could cause a little bit of a chain reaction if your enemy is castled up. So it's okay. I could imagine it doing something like 4 or 5 mortal wounds to an enemy unit, so it is arguably better than Smite, just with the obvious downside that it has a much shorter range. I really don't imagine it will be the go-to spell of the discipline, but hey, it sounds absolutely hilarious, so from that perspective, it's a big win in my book, and I do honestly love the idea of turning a Terminator or a Custodian Guard into a Squig. I mean, that alone, for me, makes it almost worth taking every now and then. They also show off a weapon that the Wereboys seem to have, which to me kind of sounds like it's inspired by Commissar Yarrick's Bale Eye, and if that is somehow written into the fluff that the various mech boys have tried to copy Yarrick's eye, I would absolutely love it. But what the Eyes of Mork is a 12-inch range, Assault 2, Strength 6, -3 AP, D3 damage weapon, which is actually pretty damn scary. Obviously it will be at an awful ballistic skill of 5 or something like that, but that strength and AP with D3 damage could do a serious bit of work, potentially killing off 2 entire aggressors if you're very lucky. You know, it's nice that they've got something which is a bit more unique and a bit more powerful and a bit more fun, so I am quite excited to see these guys running around the battlefield zapping people with their eye beams. The final thing that they tease in this article is in the last paragraph, where they say that the Werboys might possibly have some kind of transport. And this brings me back to the cinematic picture with that squig pulled vehicle. And if you look right at the top there, doesn't that look like an orc with those same style of lightning bolts on his back there? So maybe this will be the Werboys' personal transport, or maybe some kind of dual kit between a weapon platform version and a transport version. Either way, it still seems that there are some more surprises coming from the orcs and the beast snaggers, and we should hopefully find out more and see the full range of new orc stuff that's coming in the very near future when they go up for pre-order. They do say in the final paragraph something about the first wave, so I do imagine that this release is going to be one that comes in 2, maybe even 3 waves with how many new kits there are, but hopefully, as I said, we will get to see the first full kits for these guys and find out exactly when we can get our hands on them very, very soon. But that is it for the Here We Go article today. What do you think of the Werboys and the squiggly curse power that they showed off? Do you think that these guys will be a threat to the current Weird Boys with the jump, or is that combo still just too powerful to ignore? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I will catch you later, guys.